Okay, so we are live on YouTube now. Okay, so let's start with short kirtan, and we can also do bhajan. Anyone has any preference for bhajan today? Any particular bhajan that you would like to do? Okay, can we do? Anyone has any suggestion, preference, recommendation? Anyone has any recommendation? No. Okay, and maybe we can do this. We can do the Sautar Stotra. I think everyone is familiar with this Stotra by Jayadev Goswami.
Which Sutra, Prabhuji?
Sautar Stotra.
I'm not able to get. I think your voice is echoing or. आप बोलिए ना. I'm sure.
It was echoing because I think my YouTube live was also on. I've closed it now. So let's start with the kirtan first. Yeah. So Swati Mataji, would you like to do kirtan? Swati Mataji. Okay, Rajiv Prabhu and Angel Mataji, you would like to do kirtan? You can do in the traditional way only, starting with Namam Vishnu Pada and then Sri Krishna Chaitanya and then Hare Krishna.
Okay, bro.
Okay, so you can do, you or Angel Mataji can do, and someone can respond to it. I can respond.
Okay, Prabhuji, we'll start now. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda
Jai Shri Krishna
We do the Maha Mantra Kirtan now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Jai Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe.
Radha Ras Bihari Radha Ras Bihari Radhe.
Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe.
Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe.
Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra.
Jai Gauranitai 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 Jai Gauranitai.
Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Ram Sankirtan Yajna ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai
Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Okay, so we will continue with our Das Avatar Stotram. And I would request, because Alisha has joined, so Alisha, would you like to lead? And we'll all respond.
Sorry, Prabhu, I didn't get that. Lead in Kirtan.
Lead Das Avatar Stotram by Jaydev Goswami.
I don't remember.
Okay, if you have songbook, or you can Google search, because I think you must be familiar, right? We have this Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita
Yeah.
Hiranyakashipu, that is coming from Jaydev Goswami's Das Avatar Stotram.
Okay. Let me just
Yeah,
check.
so okay. You are familiar with the tune, right?
Oh no, actually, I can see it. Pralay Payodhi Jale Dritavan Asi Vedam, but I'm not very good with reciting it.
Acha, okay. So if you're not familiar with the tune, then I will take the lead.
Yeah.
And okay, anyone else, they are familiar with this tune?
Maybe if I hear Prabhuji, we'll come to know, but I can't recall as of now.
Okay. So we just started this bhajans 2 classes before. I think this is the third bhajan, right? Yeah, third one. Pralaya payodhi jale dritavan asivedam vihitra charitram akhedam keshavadrita मीन शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. Is this something easy to follow? Okay, so one more time I will start.
I think hearing,
Okay.
hearing for the first time, I think. Yeah.
Okay. प्रलय पयोधि जले धृतवारसि वेदं विहितवहित्र चरित्रमखेदं Pramakhedam. Are you getting it? Okay, so I will read one line and then you can continue. I will not read two lines together. We'll just focus on one line. Pranaya payodi jale dhritavana sivedam.
Jaya payodi
Nasi vedam
Vihita vahitra charitram akedam.
Vihita Vahitra Charitramakedam
Keshavadrita Meena Sharira Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare.
Keshavadrita Meena Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Shitiriha Vipul Tare Tistat Titav Kriste
Kishitiha Vipulatare Tishtarite Tava Prishte
Dharani Dharana Kina Chakragariste
Dharani Dharana Kina Chakragarishte
Keshavadita Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare.
Keshavatreeta Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya
Vasati
Jagadisha
Dasana Shikare Dharani Kavalagna
Vasati Dasana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna
Ashini Kalari Kakaleva Nimagna
Shashini Kalanka Kale Vanimagna
Keshavarida Sukar Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare.
Keshavatreeta Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Tavakar Kamal Vare Nakhamadutta Shingam
Tava Kara Kamale Vare Nakamadhuta Shringam
Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam
Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam
Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare.
Keshavatreeta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Jayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhutavamana
Chalasi Vikramane Balim Adbhutavamana
Padanakani Rajanita Janapavana
Padanakanira Janita Janapavana
केशवद्रीता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवत्रेत वामन रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगदापगत पापम्
क्षत्रियरूढिरमये जगदापकपापम्
स्नपयसि पयसि समितिरभव पापम्
स्नपयसि पायसि समितभवतापम्
केशवद्रीदा भृगुपतिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवत्रेत भृगुपतिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
इतरसि दिक्षुरनेदिकपत्रिकमानियम्
वितरसि दिक्षुरनेतिकुपतिकमनीयम्
दशमुखमौलिबलिं रमणीयम्
दशमुखमौलिबलिं रमणीयम्
केशवद्रीता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवत्रेत रामशरीर जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
वहसि वपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदापम्
वहसि वपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदापम्
अलहति भीतिमीलिता यमुनाभम्
अलहति भीतिमिलितयमुनाभम्
केशवदीपालधररूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवद्रीतहलधररूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
निन्दसि अग्नविधेर् श्रुतिजातम्
निन्दसि यज्ञविधेरः श्रुतिजातम्
सदय हृदयदर्शितपशुघातम्
सदय हृदयदर्शितपशुघातम्
केशवदीदा कल्किशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे बुद्ध शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधृत बुद्धशरीर जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
मलचनिवहनिधने कलयश्रीकरावलम्
मलचनिवाहनिधा कलयसि करवालम्
धूमकेतुम् इव किमपि करालम्
धूमकेतुम् इव किम् अपि करलम्
Keshavadrita Galki Sharira Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
केशवधृता कल्किशरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Jaya Deva Kare Idam Uditam Udaharam
श्रीजयदेव कवेर्इदम् उदितमुदारम्
Sukadam Subadam Bhavasaram
किनु सुखदं शुभदं भवशारम्
Keshavadrita Dasavidya Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
केशवधृत दशविधरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Hare Shri Jayadev Kaveridam Uditam Udaharam Shinu Sukadam Subhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadita Dasavidya Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare जय श्रीला देदे गोस्वामी की जय 10 अवतार स्तोत्रम की जय 10 अवतार की जय Okay, so I had requested some devotee to share on the screen, but I think no one read the message. Okay, so quickly going through the translations. Obviously, I have not read the last verse because that is not the stotram in itself. So, okay, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of a fish. All glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish just to give protection to the Vedas, which had become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation. O Keshava, Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a tortoise. All glories to you. In this incarnation as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain rests upon your gigantic back as a pivot for churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain, a large scar like depression is put in your back, which has become most glorious. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glories to you. The earth, which had become merged in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk, like a spot upon the moon. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of half man, half lion, all glories to you. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way, the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakashipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hand. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana, all glories to you. O wonderful dwarf, by your massive steps, you have deceived King Bali, and by the Ganges water that is emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Brigupati, Parshuram, all glories to you. At Kurukshetra, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demoniac Kshatriyas that you have slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Lord Ramchandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravana and distribute his heads as delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions headed by Indra. This action was long desired by all of them, who were much harassed by this monster. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Balram, the yielder of the plow, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments the color of a fresh blue rain cloud. These garments are colored like the beautiful dark hue of the river Yamuna, who feels great fear due to the striking of your plow. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of Buddha. All glories to you, O Buddha of compassionate heart. You decry the slaughtering of poor animals performed according to the rules of Vedic sacrifice. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki. All glories to you. You appear like a comet and carry the terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed these 10 different forms of incarnation. All glories to you. O readers, please hear this hymn of the poet Jayadev, which is most excellent and awarder of happiness and bestower of auspiciousness, and it is the best thing in the dark world. O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, who appear in the form of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas, and as Kurma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Vara, you lift the earth with your tusk, and in the form of Narsimha, you tear upon the chest of the Daitya Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vamana, you trick the Daitya king Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parshuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas. And as Ramchandra, you conquer the Rakshasa, King Ravana. In the form of Balram, you carry a plow with which you subdue the wicked and draw towards you the river Yamuna. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion towards all the living entities suffering in this world. At the end of Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the malicious. Jayadev Goswami ki jai, Dasauta Stotram ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So how did you find this? I'm pretty sure that most of the devotees have heard this.
I'm hearing for the first time, Prabhuji. Or maybe in this
Very
tune.
surprising. Yeah, probably in this tune, yeah. Yeah, so this is very interesting that if you see the out of the 10 incarnations, you will see the 8th incarnation is actually referred to as Balram instead of Krishna. So why is like that? Why Balram is referred here instead of Krishna?
Krishna is not avatar, na Prabhuji. Krishna is avatari.
Correct. Yes. So all these are incarnations of Krishna. The avatar, they are. That's why in each and every verse he's saying Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa, Keshavadrita Vamana Sharira, like that. So these are Keshava means Lord Krishna. So there is no point of saying that to mention Krishna's name and then say that Keshava Rupa, Keshava Sharira, like that. Keshavadrita Keshava Sharira. There is no point in that, right? So these are understood to be incarnations of Krishna himself. That's why there is a reference of Balram in the 8th incarnation. Okay, so let's start with our class. Mataji, can you please share the screen? And we have to also track where we left off.
Prabhu, I cannot share the screen, Prabhu, because I logged in through mobile.
Oh, acha, acha. Okay, so any one of you, whoever is joined, if someone can share the screen. Who is sharing? Rajiv Prabhu or Nirvika Mataji, any one of you can share. Alicia Mataji.
Prabhuji, my laptop is not working, so I don't think I'll be able to share it because I'm logged in right now from my cell phone.
Acha, okay.
Yeah, someone is doing it, I think.
I think.
Yeah, thank you, Rajiv Prabhu.
Okay, so we have to track also from where to start. Yeah, Rajiv Prabhu has marked. Next class from this verse. Okay. So it's starting with Narad Muni. 21st May. Okay. So if it's not happening, then maybe we can just continue with the readings. Devotees can start reading. Okay, so who can start first? Ujwala Mataji, can you start?
Twenty-first May, Narad Muni.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Ujwala Mataji, can you start?
She has messaged she's driving, Prabhuji. So shall I start?
Yeah, okay, you start. Okay, one second. Okay. Before starting, so I just went through Alisha Mataji's message, and it was, yeah, we were discussing about chocolates, and I think she messaged that in her temple they are offering the deities chocolates every day. That's what she mentioned, I think.
Actually, Prabhu, Mother Kulangana, who's Prabhupada disciple, she used to make Mangal sweets, and I heard that she used to offer cocoa powder, but they used to ensure that it doesn't have caffeine in it.
Yeah, that's the point. I was also wondering that how they offer chocolate on a regular basis to the deities. So if it is not with, I mean, if it is without caffeine, then yeah, then obviously that's acceptable. Yeah, that's why I wanted to discuss, but I think you have already said no, that it was without caffeine. Okay, yeah, so see, this is the importance of devotee association. Devotees can share, and we can get a new insight on, because Prabhupada Lilas and the practicalities of those Lilas to different parts of the world, they are different. It's not necessary that the same standard is followed everywhere. And that's why we have to know what are the standards that are followed in different parts of the world, so that we can get a holistic view instead of being restricted or limited to only one aspect of standard. So this is very important actually. Okay, so let's start. Angel Mother, you can continue.
Okay. Narad Muni. Once in New Vrindavan, some reviews arrived from educators and scholars in different parts of the world glorifying Srila Prabhupada's books. When we were having darshan, Srila Prabhupada had somebody read one particular review. In it, a well-known person wrote that Srila Prabhupada was so prolific and the books he wrote were so profound that they could not be written by an ordinary soul. It is my belief, he wrote, that Srila Prabhupada is Vyasadeva himself. Srila Prabhupada lit up with a big smile and everyone said, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. We really don't know who Srila Prabhupada is. No one else accomplished what he accomplished, and it's unlikely that anyone will for a long time. Srila Prabhupada was directly empowered and sent by Krishna, and he came to the most fallen place. Prabhupada once said that Krishna asked him to come in the material world. Will you please go and deliver them? Srila Prabhupada didn't want to leave Vrindavan, but he came out of his great compassion. Hari Bol.
Jai Prabhupada. So we don't know who Prabhupada is. And Alicia has commented Jai Nectarian. Yeah, so this is indeed extremely nectarian. And this is the glory of Srila Prabhupada books also. So actually I was, because Prabhupada's Vyas Puja is coming, I was thinking what to offer to Prabhupada. And I was very happy that the offering has been going on since we have started our class in Corona, right? The day we have started our Srila Prabhupada Lila class, I think we are making offering to Prabhupada. So I thought that now it's time for devotees to make offering to Prabhupada, and we can hear directly from the devotees how they have, how Prabhupada has influenced their life to in multiple areas or some areas, or how they got attracted to Krishna also because of Prabhupada's mercy. So I think this will be a wonderful opportunity for all of us on Sunday. We can all come together and we can write. I mean, all the devotees can share, and everyone will get good amount of time. Minimum, I think 15 minutes everyone will get. So, and this is something that we don't get to share with devotees in the temple, because there are so many devotees in the temple. There are so many senior devotees. That's why we just offer to Prabhupada whatever gratitude we have, we offer in the mind. But this time I thought that, okay, it's a good opportunity for all of us to share something about Srila Prabhupada, to convey our gratitude to him. That will also help other devotees, because by hearing all of your offering to Srila Prabhupada, we can also gain a deep and better understanding of how devotees connect with Srila Prabhupada. So that will be very inspiring. Okay. So I hope that if possible, all devotees can attend on Sunday, next Sunday, then it will be wonderful. And obviously, those who are attending, they please also mention if they will offer. I mean, I would request that each and every devotee offer, but if you let me know, then we can also divide the timings, because I would like to know how many devotees are joining, and then depending on that, how many are offering. And based on that, we can divide the timings also. And I guess that minimum 15 minutes everyone will get to speak.
Prabhuji, when is your Janmashtami class?
Okay. Yeah.
When are you taking that?
Yeah. So see, I was discussing that, and I was asking devotees. So I have option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was asking devotees. There are two options available: Wednesday or Thursday. And I think devotees have chosen Thursday. And I'm also about to ask other devotees. So is Thursday feasible for everyone, or is Wednesday feasible?
Thursday for me, because Wednesday a lot of other devotees are even going to be speaking for Prabhupada's appearance days. So maybe Thursday would be better.
On Wednesday?
No, Thursday. I'm saying Thursday is
appearance
better.
is on Thursday, right?
Oh, yeah. So then maybe some other day, Prabhuji, because there are so many people who are like, even from temple side, there are some speakers and everything. And yeah, Thursday fits Prabhupada.
Yeah, but I think, see, the temple. Yeah, see, okay, I would like to mention one thing, that temple activities and programs, they will keep going on. And, anyways, we are not going to be participating in that, in the sense that we are not going to interact, or we are not going to offer something. So that can be heard live also, right? I mean, it can be heard, sorry, not live. I mean, I need to say that it can be heard later also. So see, because I cannot delay Janmashtami class for the next week. So either it has to be on Wednesday or Thursday. And in fact, I was also going to do the Vyas Puja offering on Thursday. But then I felt that we should have maximum devotees for the offering. So this is a very this is a very higher principle which is followed by even Radha Govinda temple and maybe some other temples, that when maximum devotees are available, that time we do these things. It's not necessarily that to do on the same day. So that's why I can give the option of Wednesday or Thursday for Janmashtami. But I cannot, I don't think, because Saturday we have class by His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj. 3 p.m. we have class by Bhanu Maharaj on Saturday. And then Sunday we'll be doing this Prabhupada Vyas Puja offering. So yeah, so when you have the option of hearing the recording, I mean, you can hear, because here we are, you know, in our group, we are participating individually. We are also contributing to that.
Yeah, but Prabhuji, Thursday is also working day, so I am actually thinking that maybe Thursday it might also again not be possible for me. Yeah, that is also there. I just remembered. Anyways, you can do whenever
Okay, anyways.
whenever maximum wanted. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Alisha Mataji, when are you available? Krishna. Yeah, Alisha Mataji, are you there? Okay, we'll figure out later. Let's continue.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Vaiyasaki. Before going to the Mayapur festival in 1976, all the devotees first went to Calcutta. We were taking breakfast prasadam on the temple balcony when we noticed 3 musicians walking along the street. One had a harmonium strapped over his shoulder, another had a mridang, and the third one kartals. And when they saw us, they started chanting Hare Krishna. Some devotees, including me, thought it was attractive, but because they were singing for money, others didn't like it. Suddenly, a devotee came out of Prabhupada's room, went over to the musicians and gave them a rupee. The musicians smiled and thanked the devotee and left. That became a controversy. Why did a devotee give Krishna's money to these professional musicians? The devotee said, Prabhupada gave me a rupee and told me to give it to them. Why did he do that? I don't know. Please find out. That devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, why did we give Krishna's money to professional musicians? Srila Prabhupada said, we have enjoyed their music, so we are indebted to them. We gave a rupee to clear the debt. When I told the story to an Indian devotee, she said, yes, my mother always taught me that. And thereafter, if good singers came by when I was traveling on the trains in India, I would always pay them a rupee because I didn't want to be indebted to them. But if someone didn't have any talent, I wouldn't give them anything. I didn't feel indebted, and if I didn't enjoy it, if it was just a bother.
Yeah, so Prabhupada said that if you are taking service from someone, you are indebted to that person. So if you take 1 paisa from someone, then you have to return that paisa, 1 paisa to that person. Otherwise, the law of karma is that you have to give multiple paisas with interest to the person. This is what Prabhupada said. So yeah, actually one thing is there, that in India, we have a tendency to learn everything for free. And as much as possible, we want to get things for free. But yeah, this is true that the more we take advantage of things which are available freely, the more we are indebted to all these things. And then obviously we get the reaction for that also. So see, this is the subtle nature of karma, that you might never understand and never know why you are suffering for certain things or why you lost money. Because there have been circumstances where devotees or non-devotees, they also lose money. Whether it is some kind of tourism travel or some kind of investment or whatever it is, I think we all lose money at certain point of time, and this is just probably this is just the reaction of the karma that we have indebted and we are not paid back on time. So yeah, so maybe this is the arrangement by the laws of karma, laws of nature only. So this is a very important principle. Prabhupada actually stressed this many times that if you take any help from someone, then you have to also give it in return to that person. Any comment or question on this?
No problem.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there are devotees who might have questions on this because we have been using certain things for free most of the time, and this is one thing that I've observed in the Western culture and in India, that India people tend to use more and more freely, and in the Western culture, I think they want to pay back whatever. If something is beneficial for them, they would like to pay the price for it, and so there is a cultural difference here. Yeah, I don't know how many of you have observed this or noticed. Mataji, Alisha Mataji, you can all share something on this. Are you there, Swati Mataji, Alisha Mataji? Yeah, of course.
Western culture or Indian culture का तो नहीं पता, but I think it depends from person to person. कई बार we have this feeling that we should not keep anybody's, we should not remain indebted to anybody. So we tend to give in the train, if we are traveling, we tend to give something to the poor if somebody is singing, or even I have done that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like here, where Saki Prabhu is sharing that unless and until I am enjoying it, I will not pay for it. So if you have really enjoyed, then obviously you will feel that you want to give something in return. But if and we cannot control, we cannot stop anyone. And so there will be beggars, or there will be people who will be coming in the train and they will be singing, or they will be they try to sell something, or maybe they are just looking for money. So then even if they are performing some kind of they do perform, but it's not necessary that we have to pay them, because maybe we are not concerned, we are not bothered about it. And if we are really enjoying it, then maybe we can pay them back. But otherwise, there is no necessity of returning them. So especially for the devotees, actually, because we are practicing bhakti, and if we are preaching also, then all of these small karmas, they can be destroyed easily. And obviously for the devotees, Krishna says that he takes away the reactions, or he gives a token reaction for the karmas, right? So there will be some kind of token reaction for the karma that we perform. Yeah, but if we are engaged in devotional service completely, then obviously we are free from all these type of obligations. And now see here, Prabhupada himself actually set an example. So Prabhupada definitely is a Nitya Siddha, he's not obliged to anyone. But I think he set an example for all the devotees also, that nothing comes for free in the material world. We have to pay a price for that.
One thing about this.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned that the Western culture prefers paying a value, see, the Britishers took away our Kohinoor, but they never gave us. Now we're trying to get it back from them. Whereas when Srila Prabhupada went there, he said, you took away everything from us, but you forgot to take one important thing which I have come to give to you freely. That is
Yeah,
Krishna
yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah, it is true. Definitely, and that's because of envy. See what China is also doing currently. They are also trying to. I mean, they have an expansionist policy because of your communist regime, and they are
Correct.
trying to take away the land of other countries, right? By cheating. And so it also depends on the envious spirit of the country or the prime minister or the president of that country, and because of that, people has to also, in any country, the citizens, they have to take the karma of the president or the ruler, and the ruler or the president, he has to take the karma of the citizen. So both are like interdependent on each other, because we have elected, like especially in democracy, we elected the prime minister here, and that's why if the prime minister does something wrong, then the effect will be there on the citizens also, and the prime minister does something good, it will be transferred to the citizens also. So law of karma is very complex. uh, yeah, but that's a different thing. Here we are talking about uh, the country as a whole, or a nation as a whole. uh, okay. So usually, definitely, it depends on different people. But see, this more in Western culture. I mean, obviously, in the past, things have happened. But what I've observed when I was in the US, people want to pay the price for whatever benefit they're getting. And there is a lot of etiquette culture in terms of, like, for example, here in India, we have a very passionate life. People are very impatient by nature, and they always want to be first in everything. But so these kind of things you not see so much in the Western countries, because these are all developed countries, and people respect that. They have a lot of regards for. I mean, they will be patient. They will wait. They will wait in queue, and they will allow others to go. It is their turn. So it is not like here. We just rush in and try to get in as soon as possible. Even though we are last in the queue, but we'll still try to rush in, and we'll try to get in first. So these things are there. You will find more in the Western countries. They are uh, cultured in these areas. Uh, and obviously, I think the transition happened because India became a poor country after the British came, and they took away all the money and everything. So obviously, because we have the economy is poor in India, and we are a developing nation. That's why obviously we find all these things. We don't take so many things very seriously. So a lot of facilities in India compared to other countries, because they are all developed countries currently. So that is also the reason. But and obviously they have money. If they have money, obviously they will like to pay for it. And we always try to save money. Okay. So but anyways, I think we have understood the principle. As far as possible, we should repay the debt. Okay. Yeah, Mataji, you can continue.
Yes. Vaiyasaki. In 1976, Srila Prabhupada's god brother, Bhakti Vilas Tirth Maharaj, passed away. Prabhupada was in his room in Vrindavan when he heard the news, and he said, Bhakti Vilas Tirth, now he is gone. But he went back to Godhead. Bhavanand said, Srila Prabhupada, how is that possible? Instead of helping you, Bhakti Vilas Tirth gave you trouble, and he created a dispute that split up Bhakti Siddhant's mission and forced the Gaudiya Math into a 40-year lawsuit. How could he have gone back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, he went back to Godhead because my Guru Maharaj accepted his service. From that, I understood that if a pure devotee accepts our service, then even though we may not be qualified, Krishna gives us the opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. Although Bhaktivilas Tirth caused a disturbance to the Gaudiya Mutt and didn't respond to Srila Prabhupada's request for help, Bhaktisiddhanta accepted Bhaktivilas Tirth's good service. If the Guru accepts our service, we are safe.
Yeah, very interesting point. So one time Prabhupada also chastises God brothers by saying that he's a dark, envious snake. And at the same time, he also said that he went back to Godhead. So I think the same, or maybe this is the same devotee, or I don't know, but it's so interesting that someone who is trying to create some kind of disturbance and problem for another pure devotee, but still he is able to go back to Godhead just because he has satisfied the spiritual master. So here we see there are two things here. First of all, Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. And so that means he is the Acharya for all the ISKCON devotees. He is not the Guru or Acharya for other devotees outside of ISKCON. And that means Prabhupada is not the ultimate authority, and neither anyone has any obligation to follow Prabhupada. Okay, so in our Vaishnava Sampradaya, we have 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, and the other 3 Vaishnava Sampradayas, they are also bona fide, and they also have a parampara, and whichever devotee is following in that parampara faithfully their Guru's instruction, they will all go back to Godhead. And in our Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara, we have ISKCON and we have other institutes also, like Gaudiya Mutt or Chaitanya Mutt or different organizations also we have. So whoever is in ISKCON, we are obliged to follow Srila Prabhupada. Actually, one thing is for sure, that the position of Prabhupada is definitely unique in the entire world. So no matter whoever agrees or disagrees on this, this is quite visible, okay? Because Prabhupada is the only Acharya who has spread Krishna consciousness to each and every nook and corner of the world, which none of the other devotees or Acharyas, they have done it. Okay, so to glorify and to equate Prabhupada with the previous Acharyas, maybe it is possible, it can be done, but it's not necessary that each and every pure devotee can be equated with the previous Acharyas or the Goswamis, because Prabhupada was a Satyavesh avatar also at the same time, and Satyavesh avatar is a very extreme special type of avatar, which means that he's directly empowered by the Lord. So you know the Shakti of the Lord is entering the body of that pure devotee. That's why he's supposed to be respected and favored by any Acharya or any pure devotee throughout the world. And that special position remains for Prabhupada. But as far as following Srila Prabhupada, it's not mandatory, because ultimately one has to follow their own Gurujan, right? So this is the principle of Shastra. So even though we have the most advanced Mahabhagavat Srila Prabhupada here, and there is some devotee who is not following Srila Prabhupada, does not mean that they will not go back to Godhead if they are following their predecessor Acharyas or Gurus. So if they strictly follow what they are saying, and obviously it has to be bona fide, then they can also go back to Godhead, right? So one thing we should know, that Guru is not absolute for everyone. He is absolute only for the disciple. Okay, so if that's why Prabhupada here very clearly states that although he created some kind of disturbance or problem, but because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was his Guru and he accepted his service, that's why he's gone back to Godhead. And the relationship of Bhaktivilas Tirth Maharaj with Srila Prabhupada is actually that of God brothers, right? So it's not necessary that one God brother will see another God brother as a Guru, even though the other God brother might be a Guru for thousands and thousands of disciples throughout the world, or he may be an Acharya. So it's not necessary that the God brother has to see the other God brother as a Guru. Obviously, he must give respect which is due to the pure devotee according to his stature, but it is not necessary that he has to follow that other God brother. Okay. So see here also one thing we can clearly understand, that ultimately one's own Gurujan, they will be the savior for the disciple. Even though other devotees may be more advanced than their own Guru, but they cannot help a devotee unless and until they have been blessed by his own Gurujan. Okay. So obviously we have to make sure that we are able to please our Gurujan first, and then we try to serve others. So here also the same case is there. That's how Prabhupada said that he must have gone back to world. Okay, so any question or comment on this?
No problem.
Okay. Okay.
So this is on 25th May. Jashavati Nandan. Another time I said that Rup and Sanatan Goswamis were born in a Saraswat Brahman family, an exalted Gaur Saraswat family. They were great Sanskrit scholars and they had a powerful Vedic background. Why did they feel so low that they did not enter the temple of Jagannath? Was it just because they associated with Muslims? Prabhupada said, associating with Muslims means adopting their habits like meat eating and so on. Maybe Rup and Sanatan Goswamis also associated with the Muslims in that way, and due to that, they felt unqualified. Prabhupada's answer was pragmatic. He said, maybe. Then he said, but everything they did was under the dictation of Krishna. They are eternally liberated souls, Nitya Siddha. So it doesn't matter what they did.
Yeah. So this is a very practical approach towards why this humility cultivated in Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. Generally, we say that, okay, they are like pure devotees, Nitya Siddhas. It was because of their natural humility. It was ingrained in them. But yeah, one thing is, when they come to the material world, they come as a sadhaka, and when they behave as a sadhaka, then they undergo the experience of a sadhaka. And so this type of humility will come because they probably really felt that they associated with Muslims, and they got adapted to the habits that they had during that period. Okay, so and obviously at the same time, you also know that Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis they are eternal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they are manjaris in the spiritual world. So both factors have to be considered, and ultimately whatever the Nitya Siddhas they do in the material world, even though it might have a flavor of external material influence, but ultimately we should know that everything is dictated by Krishna, because they are Nitya Siddhas. So that is, it is not possible that, like for example, I think one time I have heard that Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to have fish earlier when he was not Krishna conscious, when he was not a devotee. Yeah, and even I think it was Gaur Kishore Das Babaji or Jagannath Das Babaji. His parents, they were belonging to the fishermen's caste, and they had this tradition of going for fishing every day, and then probably eating the fish. Okay, so one time someone offered Gaur Kishore Das Babaji a fish, and when he saw the fish, he got a temptation for a second, and in the sense that he wanted to eat it. Okay, yeah, this is not Gaur Kishore Das, I recorrected. This is Vamshi Das Babaji Maharaj. So he got this temptation to have the fish. So for a second he got this thought, and as soon as he got the thought, he immediately chastised his mind, and he then started chastising his deities, and he punished his deities also. He had a very transcendental relationship with his deities. So he started chastising his deities that, how can you bring such a thought in my mind? You are responsible. So then what he did is, he tried Radha Krishna with ropes, and then he started drowning them in the Ganges. Okay, so Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj was a Rasik Mahabhagavat Vaishnav, and obviously we cannot imitate and understand the mood of these great Vaishnavas. But yeah, it is possible that devotees may get tempted because of their relation in the material world and with the society. For the timing, it is possible. But at the same time, if they are Nitya Siddhas, then obviously whatever they are doing, it's all by the arrangement of the Lord. Okay, so any question or comment on this?
Yes, but Prabhuji, here in this piece that we read, it is also indicated that they might be indulging in meat eating. So that means, and that too under Krishna's dictation, like it is the words used. So it is possible that means that Krishna would make his eternal associates indulge in meat eating, like cow meat and all that, because Muslims freely indulge in cow slaughter and eating the meat. So then that means it is implied that there's such a possibility is there that under Krishna's dictation, eternal associates might have to indulge in these kind of things also.
Okay. So see, as far as eating of beef is concerned, I am not sure about that because I have not heard or read anything that these Nityasiddhas, they had to eat these things. I mean, I don't have any reference for that. That's why I cannot comment on it. But I think I would assume that except beef, maybe probably they have eaten certain other things by the arrangement of Krishna. As I gave the example of Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, this is what I think I've read or heard that before he was Krishna conscious, he was eating fish, and I think it's a very common culture in Bengal, especially for the Bengalis. They are very intense non-vegetarians, so it may be possible. Yeah, but I'm not sure about beef.
But Prabhuji, Gaur Saraswat Brahmins, that is Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami are Gaur Saraswat Brahmins. These Brahmins are known to eat fish. That is part of a very normal thing amongst that community. But meat eating was something I was like quite surprised.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, because there is, and Prabhupada also says maybe. Okay, he's not directly saying that yeah, they had meat or something, but it is a possibility that they may have some kind of meat, but I don't think it will be beef. I doubt that, because as far as I consider devotees coming to Krishna consciousness, for my own self and maybe for other devotees also, I think all of you must have experienced that whenever we have tried to consume certain things, for example, onion and garlic. Okay, whenever I used to consume onion and garlic, I had developed some allergy in my throat, and I was not able to consume it later. So, anyways, I gave up eating onion and garlic. Even I think I was eating onion and garlic, but not, but very irregularly. Maybe once in 6 months or something, or maybe once in 3 months. I don't remember that. But it was causing me problem. And so similarly, caffeine also, chocolates also. Whenever I used to consume chocolates earlier, I was having some kind of problem. So then chocolate also became a secondary thing for me. I was not so interested in having chocolates. So maybe once in a while I was having it. And then obviously after initiation, we get to understand that we have to restrict from caffeine and all that. So so I just have, like, once in a while I will just have this what do you say, walnut brownie. That's my favorite. So once in a while, like once in 3-4 months, whenever I come across it, it's not that I have to hunt for it, but whenever I come across, I will have walnut brownie with ice cream. So because there is, I think, very less content of chocolate in that. I don't put chocolate in the walnut brownie. It has, and I think even in our Radha Gopinath temple, in the Govindas, they also sell walnut brownies in the Govindas. So we take it from there, we buy from there, and then I eat that. So it does not have, I don't think it has caffeine, and there is extremely low level of chocolate content in that. And I don't put the chocolate sauce also. In fact, I don't like chocolate. So yeah, so it is anyways. So what I'm saying is that it is probably Krishna's arrangement that gradually people who are eating meat or who have had meat earlier or beef, when they are in the process of Krishna consciousness, if they are coming to the part of Krishna consciousness, gradually they will realize and understand that automatically they will give it up. Like for example, we have Radhanath Maharaj also, the example of Radhanath Maharaj. And he has mentioned this in his Journey Home book, that so I don't remember previously if he was having beef or not, but circumstances happened in his life that the 4 regulatory principles were automatically given up. He started following those. Like for example, when he was in the restaurant with one of his friends, and he suddenly a calf came and started licking Maharaj's legs, and then suddenly Maharaj got that kind of personal connection with the cow, and then Maharaj immediately realized that what I'm doing, I am in a non-vegetarian restaurant, and here there is a cow which is licking my leg and is showing affection to me, and I'm also getting affected. So at that moment, Maharaj immediately realized and he gave up. So he took a vow that he will never eat meat. Okay. And so for other instances also, this is how Maharaj gave up all these sinful activities. Okay, that's described in the Journey Home. So I am pretty sure that even for these great Vaishnavas, Krishna will definitely would have arranged, even if previously they were having meat, but Krishna would have arranged gradually that they completely give that up. Yeah, but I don't remember any reference as such. At the same time, there is a possibility that Nitya Siddhas or any devotee, obviously sadhakas, many were non-vegetarian earlier, but Nitya Siddha, it is possible that they probably must have had beef or meat in the previous life, and then finally they gave it up. So this is possible. Okay, so yeah, I don't think Rajesh Prabhu, we are able to find anything on Google. Okay, any devotee would like to share something on this, if they have heard anything about Nitya Siddhas eating meat, any reference for that?
I just know about Prabhupada mentioning once that I never broke any regulatory principle in my life, and I've never even had tea and coffee. So I know that Prabhupada has never had it.
Because he was born in a Vaishnava family, and he was devotee already from the beginning. Okay, that's why. So we are talking about Nitya Siddhas who were not devotees earlier, but then later on they became devotees. So one such example comes to the mind is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I don't recollect if there were other Vaishnavas like that. And as I also gave example of Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj. So and that was not because I think he was devotee from the beginning, but because this eating of fish was a culture in their house, it was a tradition. That's why it was quite normal for him to get bewildered and tempted for the time being. So probably that is possible. Okay. Yeah, and see, I think one very important principle here is that we can accept that Nitya Siddhas probably before becoming devotees, they may probably they had meat, or maybe they were involved in some kind of sinful activity. I am saying this because we know that there is also injunction in the Shastra which says that you can never, you should not see the past life of any devotee. You should not consider the past life, because when one take shelter of Krishna, then Krishna will destroy everything. He is the one who is actually involved. He interferes in the life of that devotee. So the past life of a devotee should never be brought up. Okay. So from that also, we, from this particular example, we can understand that this is one of the examples which we can understand from the lives of the Nityasiddhas. So even, okay, now how many of you know? Okay, let me share something really interesting. So the four Goswamis, 6 Goswamis, how many are Nityasiddhas?
Rup Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami.
Yeah, so this you have heard from our CC class, I think. I've discussed this, or maybe other class, but it's very interesting, that out of the 6 Goswamis, only 2 are Nityasiddhas, and the 4 others, they are not Nityasiddhas. So you must be wondering that, oh, how come it is possible? Prabhupada writes in one letter to one disciple, and he says that out of these 6, only Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami are Nityasiddhas. So what does it mean? We know that other 4 are having their Manjari Swarup. Okay, and we always hear that they are eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are Nityasiddhas. So there are 2 categories of devotees. One is the Nityasiddha. Okay, so there are 2 categories of devotees. One is the Nityasiddha, Shakti Tattva, and there is the other Nityasiddha Jeev Tattva. So the Jeev Tattva can also become Nityasiddha. Initially they are Nitya Bada, but after perfection they become Nityasiddha. Okay, but because they belong to the Jeev Tattva category, they are at some point probably they are Nitya Badas. And after attaining perfection, they become Nityasiddhas. Whereas for the Shakti of the Lord, Shakti is always, the internal potency is always Nityasiddhas. They never fall down to the material platform. Okay, so in this category, Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami fit. And other 4 Goswamis, they fit into the category of Jeev Tattva. So Rupa and Raghunath are Shakti Tattvas, which means that they belong to the internal potency of the Lord. Whereas the other 4, they are belonging to the Jeev Tattva category. Okay, that's how we say that. So, yeah, but once they become Nityasiddha, they are Nityasiddhas. So they attain perfection, and when they come to the material world in order to assist in the pastime of the Lord, then they are also Nityasiddhas. So in that way, everyone is a Nityasiddha. Okay, but at the same time, some are Jeev Tattvas, some are Shakti Tattvas, like that. Yeah. So this is the example. So that's why we don't have to see the past of a devotee. We don't have to consider that. Yeah, Swati Matari, I think she mentioned about Haridas Thakur. So as far as I know, Haridas Thakur, I don't think he had meat. I don't remember. I don't think he had meat, because he was also born in a good family. But I think because of the association, like we hear that he was born in a Muslim family, but I think they were converted Muslims. They were not like for example, Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Sakar Malik, Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik. So they got the titles after taking the position, administrative position as a minister. Okay. So similarly, I think Haridas Thakur also, I think his family, they were converted to Muslims. And that's why it is said that he was born from a Muslim family. Yeah, I don't remember if there is a reference for his eating of meat or being really a Muslim by birth. I don't remember that. If any other devotees they know, then maybe they can just share it. Someone had a question or a comment?
Prabhu, I had a question. What is the difference between Shakti Tattva and Jiva Tattva?
Yeah, so Shakti Tattva is the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Jiv Tattva is the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. So like for example, Radharani, Lalita, Vishaka, they are all Shakti Tattvas, whereas we Jivas, we are belonging to the marginal potency. So as being marginal Jivas, we can go here and there, either in the material world, either in the spiritual world. Whereas Shakti Tattvas, they are always in the spiritual world because they are Krishna's own expansions, like Yashoda Maiya, Nand Maharaj.
So Rup and Sanatan Goswami are Shakti Tattva?
Rup and Raghunath.
Raghunath, okay.
But anyways, it does not matter because once you attain perfection, then you are on the same platform. So it does not matter whether one is a Shakti Tattva or a Jiv Tattva, because see, ultimately now, okay, technically we say that, okay, there is a discrimination between Shakti and Jiv Tattva. But then when you enter the spiritual world, you know, the meaning of entering the spiritual means that the Samvit and the Ladini potency will enter your heart before that. Because at the state of Bhava, one ray of Ladini and Samvit potency will enter the heart. And then when you attain Prema, you are endowed, you are bestowed with the Ladini and Samvit potency also. So what is Ladini and Samvit potency? This is the Swarup Shakti of the Lord, which is the internal potency. So ultimately the Jiv Tattva also has the internal potency of the Lord. But it is just to discriminate between the marginal characteristics of a Jiva and the internal characteristic of a Jiva, of a soul. So those souls who belong to the internal potency, they never come to the material world. They never choose the material world. They will only come in the material world to assist Krishna, when Krishna will come down, or to assist in the mission of spreading Sankirtan, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Then only they will come down for special task purpose. And whereas the Jiv Tattva, by their own choice, they come to the material world. Because of their own desire to enjoy in the material world, they will come down like that. That's why we belong to the marginal potency. Tatastha Shakti. And that is Antaranga Shakti. Yeah, so is it okay? Okay, let's continue.
Okay, Prabhu. Yashomati Nandan. Prabhupada's life was to give philosophical instructions about Krishna to whoever came. He used to show intelligent, prominent people Dr. Radhakrishnan's book and say, see what Dr. Radhakrishnan is saying, that Kurukshetra is not a historical place, that Kurukshetra allegorically means your body, the 5 Pandavas means your 5 senses, and the Kauravas means the evil desires in your mind. And Radhakrishnan says that originally, the Mahabharata was written by a poet who assumed the fictitious name Vyas, and then other people added to the Mahabharata until it became a big epic. Prabhupada blasted the Indological ideas that Radhakrishnan had learned from Westerners and which he propounded. Prabhupada said, today thousands of people visit the historical place, Kurukshetra. Yet Radhakrishnan says Kurukshetra is not there. So how can anyone learn Bhagavad Gita or hear anything from such a person? One of Mahatma Gandhi's statement was, if all the activities attributed to Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam are true, if Krishna performed these pastimes, then I refuse to accept him as God, incarnate even at the cost of being banished from Hinduism. Prabhupada was furious at this. He said that Gandhi had no understanding of Krishna. He had no understanding of Krishna's pastimes, that Krishna's pastimes are transcendental, not material. God is the supreme and original enjoyer. We have the tendency to enjoy, and that tendency comes from him. Our enjoying tendency is a perverted reflection of his enjoying tendency. He is the Purusha, and every jiva is Prakriti. We are all God's wives, God's Prakriti. Therefore, your wife is his wife. God has all the rights. In his autobiography, Experiments with Truth, Gandhiji said, "Since I never had a spiritual master, I never understood spiritual life, and I always suffered because of a lack of spiritual instructions." He admitted it, but he still made vividly inaccurate comments, and Prabhupada would explain that to visitors.
Yeah. So this is a fallacy of Mahatma Gandhi's Bhagavad Gita, and similarly Dr. Radhakrishna also. And even Jawaharlal Nehru also, one time he said that Krishna was a woman monger, that he runs behind women. So all these politicians, and they were not aware of Krishna's transcendental position, and they actually offended Krishna. So Mahatma Gandhi also, he also offended the Lord by commenting like this. So in fact, I do remember Mahatma Gandhi also said before he passed away that there is no historical person as Krishna. He is a fictitious personality. So he said like that. So obviously, how can we learn Bhagavad Gita from such people? So they are all Mayavadis in disguise of trying to become externally devotees. Okay, any comment or question?
Also, Prabhuji, I keep wondering who gave Mahatma Gandhi the title of Mahatma, because as per Bhagavad Gita, Mahatma requires certain qualification, which I don't think he had.
Mahatmanas tumam partha devi prakriti mashita. Yeah, so those who take shelter of Krishna, they are actually supposed to be called as Mahatma. Okay, yeah. So of course, because of the influence of Kali Yuga, all these things will happen. Because people, they do not understand who is Krishna and who is God, what is transcendental, what is material. They don't understand these things. That's why anyone who is reflecting God's qualities in the material world, they are called as Mahatmas. Even though then they are not even devotees of the Lord, or they don't even give that kind of respect. And sometimes they are offensive to the Lord, but still they are considered Mahatmas because they do something wonderful in the material world. But obviously we understand that these are not Mahatmas. Okay, next. Yeah, I mean, someone else, if they like to continue reading.
The last verses of the lecture, Puri.
Okay, who is reading?
Prabhuji, who should continue? Who do you want should continue?
I mean, anyone can, it's okay. Even Angel Mataji can continue. I was just like trying to make sure if she's not tired by reading.
Okay, she's continuing, Prabhuji.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yashomati Nandan, the last verses of the Nectar of Instruction say, Vaikunta Janito Varamadhu Puri Tatrapi Rasotsavat. Greater than Vaikuntha is Mathura Mandal, and greater than that is Vrindavan, where the Ras dance takes place. And greater than Vrindavan is Govardhan. And in Govardhan, Radha Kund is the best place. Where is a knowledgeable person who will not serve the holy place called Radha Kund? When the book came out, Prabhupada's secretaries complained that devotees wanted to give up distributing books to stay in Radha Kund. Prabhupada said, just see the rascals. They have not followed the first verse of Updeshamrit and they are jumping to the 11th verse. The first verse is Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udaropastha Vegam. One who controls the pushes of the senses is fit to be guru and makes disciples everywhere. Sarvam apimam prithvim sasishyat. Prabhupada said, let them control their senses first. Then they can think of Radhakund. Their mentality is called Markata Vairagya, the renunciation of the monkeys. Monkeys also live in the forest, eating only fruits and leaves, but they are thinking, where is the she monkey? The desire to give up one's service and go to Radhakund is simply monkey business.
Yeah, this is so important. In fact, see, this is exactly what we were also discussing in our CC class about whether to hear the Rasila pastimes of Krishna with the gopis. So I also gave example of Radhakund that if you go by the Shastra, then just by taking bath in Radhakund once, you will attain a sentiment or love which is similar in the footsteps of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So in the wake of Radharani, you will attain that kind of sentiment. But we see that if that was the case, the entire ISKCON world would have their apartments in Radhakund, right? And what they would be doing, they would just take a bath, and from there itself they would have gone to Golok Vrindavan. All right. So see, it is so important now here. Prabhupada is directly saying that first you control your senses. And so he's not even saying about the process of bhakti, or he's not even asking us to do some kind of devotional practice in terms of Navvidha bhakti, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Sakyam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Atma Nivedanam. He's not referring to that. He's just referring to the first verse of the net of instruction, Vacho Vegam, Manaso Krodha Vegam. And he's saying that unless and until you are able to control your senses, you cannot even think of going to Radhakund. Okay, so we don't have to crash into Vaikuntha, but we have to be qualified for it, and we have to be invited. That's actually most important. Without invitation, we cannot go anywhere. Even in the material world, if your one of your relatives or friends will not invite you to some party or some program, obviously when you go there, you'll be embarrassed to see everyone looking at you. How has this person come here without an invitation, right? So you'll feel very awkward. So similarly, if you want to go to the highest thing, you must have a ticket or you must be qualified to go there. Without that, it's not possible. I mean, you yourself will come back from that place because you will see that you are filled with anarthas and others are all pure devotees. So you cannot be a part of such a high level of, Vaishnav Sangha. And obviously you'll have to purify yourself for that. So Radhakund is the most exalted place in the entire universe spiritually. But just because the last verse of the Nectar of Instruction is talking about a person who bathes in Radhakund thrice a day is the most fortunate in the entire universe, doesn't mean that just by bathing he will become most fortunate. So one thing is that in Vraj Dham, the Dham also gives reaction for the offenses. So we have the offenses for the holy name, but we also have offenses for the Dham additionally when we go to the Dham. Okay, and in Vraj, if you commit offense, then the reaction is multiplied 1,000 times, and whatever you do with devotion, that is also multiplied 1,000 times. And it is said that Radhakund, if you go, you stay there in Radhakund, the devotion will be multiplied unlimited times, and whatever offenses you commit, all that also will be multiplied unlimited times. So what would you prefer? Would you take a big risk and go to Radhakund? So it is very difficult for a sadhaka, and without getting free from all the anarthas and offenses, it's not even possible actually to approach these exalted places. See, that's why if you remember in our Balram Jayanti class, we were talking about killing of demons and especially those who were killed by Lord Balram. Okay, so if Krishna consciousness process is so easy, just by chanting the holy name, we can attain everything, then why are we hearing all these things? Why are we hearing about the demons? Why Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning all these demons and then the process to eliminate all these demons? So that means that we have to work on the anarthas also simultaneously. And so here also Prabhupada is saying the same thing, that you have to control your senses. If you are unable to do it, you can't think of going there. And so this is applicable to each and every limb of bhakti. Whether you do chanting, whether you eat prasad, whether you have you participate in kirtan, or anything that you do, shravanam, smaranam, whatever process of devotional activity you take, if you do it with offenses, it will not give the desired result immediately. And if you are offenseless, and if you chant purely, then immediately the result will be there. Okay, so we have to understand this principle. Yeah, so similarly for the Ras Leela pastimes also, Prabhupada said different things at different times, and that's why we have to understand whether we are eligible to hear that or not. So I ultimately concluded by saying that it's all about phalena parichate. You have to test your whatever activity you do, you have to test it by the results. Okay. Okay, can you answer this? Play Oyo and win Paytm cash. This answer I don't have. Okay, any question or comment? Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'll read. Okay. Jashabati Dandan. Dr. Patel arrogantly criticized the devotees, but during morning walks on Juhu Beach, he would respectfully argue with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada would also respect and encourage him, although he smashed Dr. Patel's philosophy. Prabhupada was like a snake charmer. Dr. Patel proudly thought, in a previous life, I must have been Prabhupada's younger brother. Then one day, Prabhupada said that Ramakrishna Paramahansa's philosophy, Yatha Mat Patha Pat, anything you do is all right, was bogus. It was atheism. And Prabhupada criticized Vivekananda's Daridra Narayan philosophy, that Narayan is not in the temple but is in Daridra, the poor men. So serving poor men is better than going to the temple. Prabhupada said, if Narayan is in the poor men, then why isn't he in the rich men also? And if Narayan is in a man, then he is also in a chicken. You are trying to serve the poor men and you are killing murgi, the chickens, to eat them. You are eating murgi Narayan and you are serving Daridra Narayan. So your philosophy is contradictory. Prabhupada said, you can be compassionate to poor men, but your service should be rendered to Narayan, to God. Narayan is never Daridra, never poor. This kind of confusion has turned Bengalis into ruffians. So one Gujarati, Mr. Shah, became bewildered and started shouting, you criticize everybody, you don't respect other saintly persons, you only think that you are right, that they are not good. Vivekananda was a great man. The devotees were upset and were going to physically remove Mr. Shah. But Prabhupada said, no, let him speak. Prabhupada walked on calmly, saying, I am simply saying what Krishna has said. Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradamaha. Those who are miscreants, foolish, whose knowledge is stolen away by Maya, they do not surrender to Krishna. Krishna says they are miscreants, and on behalf of Krishna, I have to say this. I have nothing against those persons, but I am trying to teach my disciples how to judge their philosophy. After that, we walked back to the temple silently and attended Guru Puja. Like the devotees, every day Mr. Shah offered flowers to Prabhupada, and on that day he also put his head on Prabhupada's feet and started crying like a baby. He felt repentant. Prabhupada put his hand on Mr. Shah's head and said, "It's okay." Then Prabhupada said, "From tomorrow we are not going to discuss. We are just going to read Krishna book." So starting the next morning, one of us read Krishna book while we walked along the beach.
Yeah, Prabhupada expertly defeated all the different types of philosophies. Okay, any comment or question? Okay, next.
Okay. Srimati Nandan, in 1977, another devotee and I went to Madhav Maharaj's, one of Prabhupada's godbrother's place. I told Madhav Maharaj, "I am a disciple of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada." Madhav Maharaj said, "That is very nice. But I am senior to Swami Maharaj." Swami Maharaj was a businessman, so he is an expert organizer. Therefore, his movement has spread everywhere very well. But that is all external. Bhakti is something else. Bhakti is the spontaneous emotion in the heart. He criticized. Then he gave me some fruit, but I left it there. I said, "Preaching is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you consider that external?" Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Whomever you meet, you talk about Krishna," and he sent Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu to preach door to door, and you say it is external. And I walked out. I told Prabhupada about this conversation, and Prabhupada was furious. For 3 days, he blasted these misconceptions on his morning walks. He said, "Just see the envious person. He thinks that spreading the mission of Lord Chaitanya all over the world and inducing thousands of people to chant Hare Krishna is due to former business success. He thinks it is an external thing. What has he understood? He is a sannyasi for so many years, but what has he understood?"
Very important point. So, see, it's a balance of both the two. External, internal, both things should be there. So Prabhupada also, that's why he always said that all the devotees, they must have strong sadhana and they must at least chant 16 rounds and they should follow the 4 regulated principles very strictly. Then your preaching will be effective. So what the Gaudiya Math and other organizations connected to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what they emphasize and they focus more is on the internal mood, internal cultivation. And they do not do any kind of external preaching or external services, or they don't take any project. But we see in the lives of our great Goswamis, the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and his associates, what did they do? They have preached Krishna consciousness. There are probably some few devotees who Mahaprabhu said that just chant the holy name, but you will see those are very rare. And majority of the devotees in Mahaprabhu's movement, the very principle of compassion was personified by Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya was the one responsible to call Mahaprabhu in this world. So Haridas Thakur also, although Haridas Thakur is actually, he used to chant lakhs and lakhs of names. But at the same time, he was also preaching, because what he used to do is he divided the 3 sets of 64 rounds into 3 types of chanting. One he did on Mansik level, other he did on the Upanchu level, which is murmuring, and the last one he did loudly, which is basically to deliver the living entities from the holy name. So even a Bhajananandi, even if he is doing bhajan for his internal cultivation or for his whatever it is, whether it may be service or for his own purpose, but still as a devotee, he will be compassionate and he will try to give Krishna consciousness to others. So even as a Bhadnanandi also one may be able to preach. So here we see that the Goswamis, Mahaprabhu had assigned them a lot of services, a lot of major responsible services, big services. Like they had to write books, literatures, then they had to discover the lost places of Vrindavan, and then they had to also build temples, to also find out the deities, the original deities which were installed by Vajranabh, who was Krishna's great grandson. So they were, and then obviously they were also engaged in preaching. That was the fifth task that they were given. So we see that right from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu till Srila Prabhupada, everyone has been engaged in preaching, and everyone is trying to give Krishna consciousness to others, trying to distribute that. So this is the external and internal, both are connected to each other. You cannot separate them. The external, if you do external service, it must also enhance your internal cultivation, and whatever internal cultivation is enhanced, that will be that will influence your external activities. Okay, so external service, without external service, actually there is no effect in our bhajan, unless and until you are ordered by the Supreme Lord or by the Guru to only do bhajan. Okay, then probably that will become a service, and when it will be when you are chanting the holy name purely. If you are chanting the holy name purely, then only probably the Guru will tell you to chant 64 rounds or 128 or 192 rounds every day. But unless and until that point, everyone will be engaged in practical service. So this without practical service, there is no testimony to our bhajan. Okay, so it all becomes theoretical. That's why, and it is a fact, it is very true, because obviously to chant 64 rounds every day or to chant more rounds every day is also challenging, it is also tough, but at the same time, to take a responsible position in the material world and to preach Krishna consciousness, that is also extremely difficult. To preach to others, to cultivate others, to take the service of guiding others, to open up temples, to take responsibility for allotting services. So any type of responsible service is also extremely important, and it's also very difficult, especially that which belongs to the managerial level. That is obviously most challenging, because there are a lot of conflicts going on, and especially because of Kali Yuga, you cannot expect ideal situations. So these devotees, they are doing great services, they are taking great responsibilities, and because of that, they are also protected by the Lord to a greater degree. Okay, and this external service is also a test to our internal cultivation of Krishna consciousness. How far we are able to implement whatever we are doing, whatever we are hearing, learning, how much we are able to implement in the practical outside world, along in the association of devotees. So that's why to surrender to a guru, to take responsibility to do practical services, it goes along with doing all the other sadhana also, chanting, whether it is chanting or reading or hearing. So it should go on a parallel line. Okay, if you are not doing practical service, then you are disconnected, you are not actually properly connected. It's very important. Okay, so any comment or question on this? Okay, next.
So read the next one, Prabhu.
Yeah, I mean, if someone else would like to continue, they can.
Prabhuji, I can read if you want to take a break.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Acha, she's closed the screen. Okay, we're not.
Somebody else wants to take the screen sharing now?
What is the
But-
date? Can you just tell me the date?
Yeah. It is 1st June.
Okay.
1st June. The very first post in 1st June.
Okay, so what we can do, we can take up 2 articles and we get close.
Yeah, I got it. Jai Swami. One year in Mayapur, we lived in the Lotus building while it was still under construction. The roof was unfinished, cement and rebar. That year, a devotee named Gayatri Dasi from Gainesville came to Mayapur with a cake she had baked, and the sannyasis, as the senior guys, commandeered and consumed this cake. But Gayatri had traveled from Miami to London to Delhi to Calcutta, and then she had driven to Mayapur. So many days of traveling and so much hot sun. And this cake had become poison. The sannyasis were laid out on the roof of the Lotus building, writhing in pain, retching and wretched. I was glad I was just a brahmachari. But what should we do? These men could die. Should we take them to the hospital? Prabhupada said they should regularly take some DT Charnamrit and they would be all right. And they were.
Yeah. So this is actually the potency and power of the Charnamrit of the deities. Once Prabhupada said that if you take the lotus, the tulsi offered to the lotus feet of the deities, and I think it was God Nitya deities, he said that if you take it, then all the karmas, all the sins are destroyed at one, for once and all. All the karma is destroyed. Okay, so this is actually the real potency of any limb of bhakti. Once if you do it, it will destroy all the karmas. So whether it is prasadam, whether it is shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, or deity worship, if you do it once with pure feelings, without offenses, material life is finished. Yeah, so this is the potency of Charnamrit. And now obviously it is so potent that Charnamrit can also give material results like this, that it can cure the body of devotees because it is infused with the remnants of the Lord's body. So definitely it is very potent. Yeah, and I think devotees who take it on a regular basis, they are very fortunate also. It gives very good strength also in terms of sadhana. Okay, so comments or questions on this? Okay, next. I think it's 5th June.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Govinda. Srila Prabhupada had several disciples in Hawaii who were intelligent and charismatic, misled some of the most simple devotees. Since I'd been the first devotee in Hawaii, I felt protective of the others. They were like my children, and I was in anxiety about what was going on. I explained to Prabhupada how these people were misleading devotees, changing the philosophy, and so forth. Prabhupada calmly said, "The mouse respects the cat, and the cat respects the dog. The dog respects the wolf, and the wolf respects the tiger. But we see they are all animals." In other words, from his perspective, all of the people that he had to deal with on this planet were on the level of animals. Prabhupada was coming from Krishna Lok while we were coming from low grade backgrounds. And once we realized this, there would be no chance of our getting puffed up and trying to outguess him, edit him, change his ideas, or think we could do better. It's impossible. We can't. I saw many instances of this. Unfortunately, one close to home instance was my own husband. Gaur Sundar, who I loved very much. He was brilliant, he was educated, and he was a nice devotee. He was studying Sanskrit and Bengali and did the transliteration for the first part of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He took Prabhupada on walks and massaged Prabhupada every day. I gave him all credit for the wonderful service he did. But later on he left, and although Prabhupada knew I was quite attached, he many times commented to me, Gaur Sundar is suffering from too much intelligence. He has the disease of being too intelligent. He thinks he knows more than his guru. This was Gaur Sundar's flaw. He was brilliant in every respect. But as soon as a person thinks he knows more than his guru, the fall down begins.
Yeah, yeah. So this is so true. Um, we have to be so careful in Krishna consciousness because many times this tendency may creep in, and we may feel that, especially those who have a lot of knowledge, so they may uh, actually knowledge can uh, it can make you humble, or it can also bestow arrogance and pride. So there is a risk in acquiring knowledge, and unless and until we have the right spirit, right mood, and we every day, if we have this conception that ultimately whatever I'm learning, whatever I've learned, it's all coming from Guru. It's because of His mercy, and He is revealing to me. He is destroying the doubts. Unless and until we have these kind of thoughts, it's very difficult to uh, maintain humility and think that we are less than the Guru. So there are great chances of falling into pride because of this. So see, what happens is sometimes the Guru, the disciple may have material intelligence, and he may know certain things better than the Guru in terms of material intelligence to apply knowledge in the material world. And that's how someone will start thinking that the Guru is ordinary, and I know more than the Guru. Or even in terms of dealing with devotees or relationships, sometimes the devotee disciple may start thinking that he knows better than the Guru. But this is a great danger. It may be true that the Guru may not know certain things materially, but on an absolute platform, the Guru definitely is the one through whom Krishna is actually coming. So see, we have to always think that the Guru is a representative of the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord is manifesting him through the Guru. If we don't understand this principle, then whatever we do in spiritual life, as Prabhupada said, that it is like we are walking on a razor's sharp edge of a razor. Okay, if we walk on a sharp edge of a razor, then definitely what will happen? It will cut it. It will cut us down with time. Okay, and so similarly here also, if we are not careful, that's why one time I had posted an article, and I asked devotees to meditate on this every week, once in a week, which was a similar type, that we have to be careful how we should always perceive the Guru as a representative of the Supreme Lord. Okay, and through him the Lord is manifesting. So, and obviously, the other problem is that the tendency is always to see the Guru as the Diksha Guru. Okay, and that's also very risky. So if you think like that, then also it's an offense, because you cannot discriminate between the Diksha and Siksha. So all these are very important, crucial principles. We have to understand this very thoroughly. Spiritual life is not a matter of acquiring knowledge from wherever we get it. It is finally, we have to follow the process given as it is. If we don't follow that, if we don't have the proper respect, regards for the Guru, then obviously a time will come when we'll take the Guru for granted, and obviously the fall down will begin. So yeah, so this is a very critical point. Yeah. So any question or comment on this? Okay. See, one thing in spiritual life is very complex, and that complexity is coming from, the problem is that we can continue our sadhana, we can keep going on in spiritual life. We'll never understand where we are committing aparadhs, where we are committing mistakes, and we'll keep continuing doing sadhana. But we'll never get the taste, we'll never advance on and attain higher stages. So this is a very complex thing, because if we do not understand where the problem is, where we are stuck, and what are the offenses that we have committed, no matter whatever we do, we'll never be able to go ahead in spiritual life, and we'll have to take another birth. So that's why Mahaprabhu also said that you can do a activity for millions of lifetimes, but still cannot be Krishna conscious. Okay, but if you do one activity purely for an instant, you attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is very important, and we have to be careful that we understand certain principles very thoroughly, and then we follow those principles. And it's also very important to have a regular checkup. Just like we have, when we get ill, we have some disease, we go to the doctor and have a regular checkup. So similarly in spiritual life also, we have to open up and we have to have a regular checkup. If we cannot do this, if you don't want to do this, that means you are not ready for this life. It's very simple. Because ultimately the ego has to be dissolved. You cannot go with your ego in Goloka. So definitely Prabhupada's special mercy is there for us, but you can think of Prabhupada's special mercy coming only when you are doing some extraordinary preaching for Prabhupada, or you are actually sacrificing your life for Srila Prabhupada's mission. Then you may think of some kind of extraordinary mercy, and Krishna will overlook the anarthas and he will call us back to Godhead. But unless and until that happens, it's quite difficult that, and I think any serious devotee also, if they are consumed with anarthas, they will not want, and if they are sincere, although if they are not being able to overcome the anarthas, but if they are sincere, then they will have this consciousness that I don't want to go back to Godhead because I'm not qualified, and I currently am not fit to enter Goloka, or I have to please my spiritual master first very thoroughly. So if you become a pure devotee, gradually your desires will also transit like that. Okay, you will not think of going back to Godhead. The more concern you will have is actually for your Guru, how much you have satisfied the Guru, how much the Guru is pleased with you, and that requires regular checkup also. Okay, so if we have a regular checkup and we are able to accept it, then I think we are very safe, and the process becomes quite pure also, to a lot of degree, because we are protected by the Guru, we have the blessings of Guru, and we are also working on the anarthas, which is guided by the Guru according to his process. So this is very important, I think. Yeah, this is actually the key to spiritual life, as we have discussed in Balram Jayanti also, the secret of Vraj Bhajan, right? Okay, so any question or comment? Okay, so let me stop the recording now. Yeah, 1 second.